Hey gaming fans, so today is just another card discussion, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about brain control versus mind control. Now, both of these cards are very similar in their effect. In fact, they're really just a watered down version of the original Change of Heart, which has been on the ban list like forever. And, you know, obviously this card's a little bit too powerful. It just takes any monster on your opponent's side of the field and allows you to do whatever you want with it. You can tribute it, you can attack with it. If it's set, you can flip it face up and get its effect. You know, there's a lot of things you can do with Change of Heart, and that's probably why it's been banned forever. Now, these two cards both have very similar effects, and actually what they do. There's just some downsides to each card. Now, I'm basing this mainly on GOAT format, and that's the format that I've been, playing around with a little bit. I've kind of enjoying the format because it does take you back to the good old days of Yu-Gi-Oh! When I used to play a little bit more competitively. Like I went to a lot of local tournaments and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, so I think these cards are actually, a little bit more playable in GOAT format. I mean, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! They've changed the card Brain Control to be almost useless because this was banned for a very long time as well in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But the errata changed that, and now it can't even steal a special summoned monster. It can only steal a monster that's been normal summoned. So I don't think anybody's really going to play it. It might find some room in a few niche decks that might use it. Mind Control, though, the opposite happened, where this got a little bit of a boost in that, you can steal the monster and link summon with it, or Synchro or Xyz. So, Mind Control did get a little bit better. But anyways, I want to talk more about the GOAT format. And, when you're building a deck in GOAT format, you're often, tight with your deck list, and you're thinking, well, what would be better? Would it be better to have Brain Control? Would it be better to have Mind Control? Or possibly both, or none at all? Now, obviously, depending on the type of deck you're playing, Brain Control can actually be a pretty good card in that it does steal any monster that is face up on your opponent's side of the field. So you can't do anything about a set monster. But it does give you the same benefits of Change of Heart in that you can attack, you can, tribute it, do what you need to do before you have to give it back to your opponent. But it does have that 800 life point cost, so, depending on where you are in the duel, if it's in the early stages when you still have 8,000 life points, that 800 is pretty irrelevant. But when you're getting down in life, 800 might be a lot, so you got to be careful when you want to play this kind of card. But the advantages are actually there in that, you can just steal a monster just to get it out of the way. But mainly you get to attack with it, which is really cool, and then tribute it off if you're playing a Monarch deck, or if you just have a few tributes, like even Thunder Dragon you can tribute just to get rid of the monster. Mind Control, on the other hand, I'm seeing people are putting it in their deck because there is a lot of setting in this game, and that's why there's a lot of people playing, Nobleman of Crossout. So this could actually be your replacement for Nobleman of Crossout, in a sense that you get to steal the monster that's face down and flip it up and get its effect. So if it's a Dakochi or Magician of Faith, you actually get to use the effect and, draw a card or whatever, and you just essentially rob your opponent of that effect. On the downside, though, you can't tribute that monster, so you can't use Metamorphosis, you can't tribute summon a monster using that monster. There isn't a whole lot you could do, so you're almost going to have to hand the monster back, which could be a bad thing, depending on the monster, of course. Now, the one card that obviously is not being included in this discussion too much is Snatch Steal. And the reason why I'm not really comparing this to Snatch Steal, because Snatch Steal essentially is like Brain Control, but it's an equip card. And so this is more of a staple in almost every deck. I think everybody plays Snatch Steal because you get to keep the monster. There's a card that can search it out. I mean, and it's, it is broken in some regards that you can play something like Giant Trunade, return it to your hand, and the monster stays on your field indefinitely. But it also has a negative side that your opponent can Dust Tornado this thing or whatever. And the only other cards that really kind kind of come close to these type of cards would be like Creature Swap, in that you, again, you get to steal a monster, but it's your opponent's choice. So unless they only have one monster on the field, you know, you're not necessarily going to get what you want, especially if they flip something like Scapegoats in response to you playing Creature Swap. You're going to end up with a goat token. Or there's things like Soul Exchange, which you don't actually take the monster, but you contribute it, whatever monster they have, for your tribute summon. I mean, the downsides to that, obviously, is if you don't have a tribute monster in your hand or anything that contribute, this card almost is dead. So, well, it is dead if you don't have anything to tribute. You know, same with Creature Swap. If you don't have a monster on your side of the field, you're not going to steal anything. So the question then comes down to, you know, which card really is beneficial in your deck. And of course, it's going to depend on the style of deck you're playing. If you're playing tribute monsters, and a lot of decks do play at least one or two, like you either have a Jinzo in there, or you have a Thunder Dragon. Like if you're playing Chaos, you at least have 3 Thunder Dragons in your deck. So Brain Control can benefit you there. But if your opponent is playing a lot of face downs, you know, Mind Control might be the choice. Especially if you're in a mirror match and you know exactly what type of face downs they are playing. Like, you know, Dakochis are pretty popular. Magician of Face are pretty popular. There's a lot of different things, even if it's something like a Man-Eater Bug, you know, just being able to steal their Man-Eater Bug. But the thing that always made me uncomfortable about Mind Control is knowing that they're going to get the monster back. You know, with Brain Control, you could still tribute the monster. And that's what I always thought was better for, you know, this type of thing. But, you know, just not being able to take their face downs kind of limits this card as well. So I just wanted to, like, kind of have that little discussion and see what you guys think. You know, if you were building a deck and you were planning on playing one of these cards, what do you think you would want to play? I think both of them have a good chance of being in the, you know, you could even play both in the same deck, or, you know, none. But I think Mind Control, I'm starting to see people trying to play like 2-3 of these things, just because they know people are going to set something and you're going to be able to take it. Whereas Brain Control, you might not always be able to use it. And the life point cost, of course. So, just like to hear what your thoughts are on this. Obviously, the Change of Heart would be the better of the two, but we are not allowed to play that. So, throw your comments down below. I always like to hear what you have to say. Which one do you play, or do you not play any at all? And you just prefer things like Snatch Steal and Creature Swap. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Throw some comments down below. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.